Purpose of this is to set a right understanding of the person of Jesus Christ. It's like this is how we are supposed to understand it. And this is very important later on, so that all the heresies that would be faced by the doctrine would be clarified. And at the same time, it gives us the limit of our interpretation. So the via negativa or the negative clarifications. So for example, having this in mind, that the nature, so this pertains to the nature of Jesus Christ. So having this in mind, all of this, example would be consubstantial, So, the term consubstantial, for example, if you're going to interpret it using the negative clarifications, it would simply mean that Jesus Christ is consubstantial with God because of His divinity. And Jesus Christ is consubstantial with us with respect to His humanity. Now, this two nature belongs to one person, which is Jesus Christ. So in other words, no confusion. Jesus Christ is both God and human, divine and human. No change. During the incarnation, the divine nature of Christ did not change, nor the human nature of Christ changed. No division. They are not separated. They are one. This two nature of God, of Christ, is one. They are not separated, or they are not divided. No separation. They are not separated. In other words, we cannot understand Jesus Christ without His divinity and without His humanity. So you understand why this is so important. Because all other doctrines, especially when it comes to the nature of Jesus Christ, follows all of this. Clear? This is a little bit mind-blocking, I think that's the term. Because it is really philosophy. So we have to erase everything. You have to suspend, that's an erase, but suspend everything. And put this and bear this in mind, because we are going to go back always into this. No confusion, no change, division, no separation. Yes?
But these terms are philosophical matter.
Yes?
And if these terms are philosophical, then it must be rational. And then this rationality, we have principles in philosophy that says whatever is and whatever is not.
That is logical.
It cannot be at the same time and at the same time. So how can we try to understand this negative clarifications when it uses this philosophical terms?
Okay. So, he's trying to make an argument saying that, okay, by negativa or the negative clarifications. However, in philosophy, there is a logical principle that a thing cannot be and not be at the same time, or a thing cannot exist and not exist at the same time under the same condition. That is logic that tells us that, for example, Bafu cannot be standing and sitting at the same time under the same condition. It is a logical impossibility, right? Now, like for example, who else? What is your name, brother?
Roel.
Oh, Brother Noel cannot be here present and absent at the same time under the same condition. So that's a logical truth. However, when it comes to Jesus Christ, how can this be? Sabi. How can you answer? Let me see. Yes.
The nature of Christ po is beyond our capacity to understand. Especially the philosophy po. Because we cannot reconcile we cannot understand His nature. We cannot put it in our understanding His divinity. Perhaps His humanity because He came down, He became the Word and became flesh here on earth. That is why we can somehow relate to our rationality and our experience of Christ. But His divinity, well, we cannot reconcile it. It's outside our understanding po. Okay, we only use terms po. Okay, we somehow to seemingly understand po the nature of Christ, but the holiness po.
So for the Christ is beyond human reason, which is really also true, it has a merit. However, it does not really satisfy the answer, but it has a merit that Christ is beyond human understanding and human comprehension, because in Jesus Christ, all the impossible becomes possible. He goes beyond the limits of human nature, he goes beyond the limits of logic. But however, in the history of Jesus Christ has a history. That is why we can understand Him. Therefore, there is an explanation to His nature, which is understandable to us. Okay. You have an answer? Comment, okay, what? So,
When we said Aquinas, it is beyond the data because human nature cannot comprehend really who Jesus is because it is we are finite and God is infinite. So putting Jesus in someday or that's not really give Jesus who really is because it is our turn that we encapsulate Jesus in this turn and it is not just on this turn of particular attribute. And Jesus really, St. Thomas is really the thing to start to what is who Jesus is not who Jesus is not so as to for us to start to affirm the other side or the positive side. So denying the negative will be affirming the positive side and the not separating will be affirming the not separating. So we affirming the separation would be affirming the not separated.
okay. Oh, before I answer that, something when you go to Miss Donna and tell her that I said something to be printed. The answer to this, to the question, would come later. I don't want to forget, but I would like to give a hint. The term appropriation. This is where most of the heresies enter because they try to appropriate terms and concepts that belongs to the divinity and they try to appropriate it to humanity. Or terms and concepts that belongs to humanity and they try to appropriate it to the divinity of Christ. So what happens? They are canceling each other. So there are terms and concepts that are appropriate to the divinity and to the humanity of Jesus Christ. And we have to understand that. So the point is that we have to be very careful not to carry meaning that belongs
to nature, Jesus Christ,
Ah.
and we say no separation. So there are some incongruence with the use of the term. These are two different human and God.
Okay.
And then we say that there is no division and no separation
Yes.
or confusion. We believe that, but
Okay.
how did the Chalcedon fathers or the Nicene fathers explain this and uses this philosophical terms? And what
We are going to enter into that. Okay, then for example, if you see it here, it is without confusion, without change, without separation, without division, so it will come later. Okay, but what I am trying to establish here is that, yes, this is philosophy, and your question actually is how do they refute the heresies? And the problem with the heresies is that the term appropriation. This is where Apollinarius and Epistemistolis and Eutyches fall. Because they try to appropriate something that does not belong to a particular nation. Okay. Like for example, if Sandre is an Indonesian, and his culture is Indonesian, and it tells Sandre, you are